What's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking us on out. Oh, I'm sure these rat bastard Buffalo fans going to be all up in the comments after this. Good for you. Good for you making the playoffs with your dumbass snowballs. Congratulations. You a bunch of hyenas out there throwing balls of snow like you guys don't see it every other week. Why don't you act like you've been there before with some snowballs, dude? What are you, children? Throwing snowballs at the Dolphins? Grow up, Peter Pan. Well, you have to have the referee come out there like your mommy and tell you not to throw it at grown-ass men. It's already enough that you guys go out there and you throw the sex toys left and right at the football players. But now, balls of ice. Really, really beneath you. It was a hell of an effort for the Miami Dolphins going out there and losing to Buffalo 32-29. Dropping to 8-6. Buffalo, they are now in the playoffs at 11-3. And what was basically just 7 minutes of a snowball because the grounds crew or whatever, they did an excellent job clearing out that field. Field looked beautiful. Conditions were fine for most part of that game up until the last two drives. And the only problem was they go and they show all these reporters. They all have these pictures. And you can see that the field is beautiful, but the stands were just filled with just feet of snow all over the place, which allowed these Bills fans to just have an arsenal. Because I got to be honest with you, I would probably be pissed too if I paid hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Imagine you're a family of four, or you have four friends. You go to a Bills game, so you probably drop, let's just say on the nice end, $500 for those tickets, and you get there and there's just piles of snow. You're already plastered out of your mind, probably jumping through a table. You're dripping in buffalo sauce, and then all of a sudden you get to your seat and you have to do grounds crew work. No wonder they're going out there and they're just throwing snowballs at the Dolphins. But this one hurts, man. It really does. I think there's a couple of things. Like, one that it leaves you with is, they're showing you like the levels of where it was and where the Dolphins were earlier in this year, much like they were in the end of last year, where they got that mid-season charge. They got a big win streak this year, did it the same way, and obviously in very different ways. Last year was a lot of defense-driven. This year was a lot of offense-driven. And you're looking at this effort the Dolphins put forth, and it was a really good effort. It was a good effort, but I think that you look at it and you're like, man, where the hell was this the last 2 weeks against LA and San Francisco? You feel like if you would have played this level of football, more consistent, more balanced, that you would have had better efforts. But the Dolphins came out in the gates in this game, and the first things that were noticeable is, boom, right away, they got a run game going. Mostert was amazing. He was running all over the field. He had like 100 yards in 2 drives. He looked absolutely incredible. But they were leaving a lot of opportunities. The Dolphins went out there, and it took them basically up until the end of the first half to get their first touchdown. And that in spite of the fact that they got some really, really good drives put together and really, really complete drives. But they would just end up shorthanded. They would get down there to the red zone. You're settling for 3. Everyone's going to be haunted by that drop that Trent Sherfield had in the end zone. I mean, that really comes up ending to bite you in the ass. So you're gonna end up probably thinking about way back to that, and then you're gonna think back to in the second half where the Dolphins really got the jump on the Bills and the defense showed up. Because you're thinking probably after the Bills go up 21-13 and they're going to get the ball back. At that point, they look unstoppable. The defense just looks inept. Javon Holland goes out with a neck injury. You're wondering if he's come back. He eventually did and had some pretty balls plays. But you're in a tough spot. And they come out and they answer the bell. They get the Bills to punt, and right off the bat, crack, Tua finds Jalen Waddle for a 67-yard touchdown. And you're feeling absolutely great. You're still down 2 because you don't make the 2-point conversion, but the game just completely feels back to life. You're exchanging drives back and forth, but the Dolphins did go in this spot where, Mostert wasn't getting the carries. They're going to Ahmed to start drives. And then, you're kind of wondering what's going on there. So some of the play calling gets a little bit questionable there, but then again, the defense is showing up. They got basically this is what they put forth in the second half. This was their effort. Bills punt, forced fumble. I mean, that's as good as you can get. And for the Dolphins to go in that, Dolphins got a couple of touchdowns. They take a 26-21 lead after getting a huge turnover, essentially, with Morstead taking a rough in the, like a champ, taking a rough in the punter call, getting the Dolphins the ball back, and Tua with a dime right to Tyreek Hill in the end zone from 20 yards out. So the Dolphins end up going up 26-21, and you're feeling good. You're like, holy crap, they are here. It is looking really good. The Bills don't look like they can do anything. Then all of a sudden the play happens that I think is going to win the Dolphins the ball game. I think this is going to take them and cruise them to the end. An incredible forced fumble, sack fumble from Jalen Phillips, forces the ball loose on Josh Allen. Christian Wilkins gets the ball back. And you have this, dude. You're on the Buffalo 47. You are in a golden spot to go get a touchdown. And if you get a touchdown and you go up in that spot by 10, that's a much different spot than going up by 8. You could go into this place, you're up 2 scores as opposed to, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. You just change the momentum. It just feels huge. And instead, it's great. You go up the whole, 8 points, and so they can't take the lead on a touchdown. But it's not a death blow. It's not a complete, hey, we're here and taking this over. And, I think everyone's going to look to the play calls on this drive, and you're just like, what were they thinking? And why did they abandon Mostert? And Mostert was, again, cranking on this drive. His first couple plays, he goes for 17 yards on this drive. And you think to yourself, man, just keep feeding that dude. He had already had this incredible first half. Why are they going away from him? And they start going back to this short passing game, which just hasn't been as sharp. Tua and the offense, they have been, even in the slumps, they have come up with the home run ball. They have been incredible, and I love it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to see explosive plays. But those timing plays, that has really been swallowed up by defenses. That has not been on the same level of accuracy that it has been early on in the year, where it was like easy throws over the middle, didn't matter the distance, third down. A lot of that stuff has been swallowed up. And so, you settle for the field goal. You go up 8, and so the Bills get the ball back, and Josh Allen again fumbles the ball. Brilliant hit by Christian Wilkins, but it's recovered by Buffalo. Then you have the play, first down, Josh Allen. He takes it 44 yards, and immediately, as soon as he does this, it was like a bad omen, because as soon as he does this, it starts snowing. Hadn't been snowing the entire game, but as soon as Josh Allen gets this run, and he was incredible today. I just want to say, for Josh Allen, by far the best player on the field, even though he was willy-nilly with that football. The plays, the throws that he had on the run, taking the team on his back with the run game for himself, basically. And then, of course, diving in for the 2-point conversion. We'll get into that in just a second. But Josh Allen runs it down 44 yards. Next play, rushes it again. Landon Roberts shoves him out of bounds. Bills O-linemen are all upset. Bills fans throwing snowballs willy-nilly. Penalty, basically puts it down. And Allen then finds Dawson Knox a couple plays later for the touchdown. Then they go for 2. And I swear to God, so he goes for 2, goes airborne. Ball looks like it pops out and is being kicked all over the place. You feel like, is anybody picking up this football? What the hell's going on here? And so I actually went to take a bathroom break after this happened. I was like, man, great. Dolphins keep a 2-point lead. Maybe they can get a field goal, go up 5, maybe get a touchdown, ice this thing. You're in a good spot. Okay. I come back and they're like, come back from a commercial, touch, 2-point conversion is good. And they're like, did it cross the plane? They're like, yup. And I'm like, did it? I'm like, I thought I saw it hit a Landon Roberts in the head. All right, if they say so. So they tie it 29-29. And the Dolphins, snowing like hell right now. It's Tua's chance, his chance to put together an answer drive. Comes out, couple big throws, one to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill sliding all over the place. Beautiful pass to Cedric Wilson. Okay, Dolphins are rolling. Then Mostert, he gets tripped up, and they go to a couple plays. He goes pass to Tyreek Hill. It's a loss of 3, incomplete to Jalen Waddle. And the The Dolphins get to punt it. They nearly muffed it, which would have been huge. But Bills get the ball back with like 6 minutes left, and they put together a just methodical, huge drive. Zach Sealer had a big sack on Josh Allen. Then Allen found Gabe Davis. He found Diggs for the first down. So, they started just chipping away. Singletary had a bunch of runs, and Jalen Phillips is like trying to knock the ball, literally punch it right out of Singletary's hands. He had a great incompletion tipped off by Javon Holland, who's playing with a neck injury, which was huge. And then the killer of all killers, there was a pass interference call from Kader Kohu. They got some good pressure on Allen, but Kohu, he grabbed, I think it was McKenzie, but I don't remember. And that was, basically all she wrote. They were basically icing it until they could get it down to the field goal. And the Bills kicked their way into the playoffs. They win 32-29. Dolphins' third straight loss. Absolutely brutal. The ones that are going to kill me are the sure field drop in the end zone, not answering the fumble with a touchdown, and I feel like abandoning the run game a little bit too much in the second. They were just, they came out with those explosive plays, and I do think that there is something to this, and I like it too. It's like a drug. The Dolphins with these bomb plays, you get Waddle and Cheetah and these explosive plays all the time. But really what got them in a good flow early in this game and had them in the game for the first half was Moshe was really, really good. It's just, when you're on the road and you're taking on a team that is as explosive as Buffalo, yeah, you can't leave touchdown. You can't settle for touchdown. You can't settle for field goals. You can't leave touchdowns on the field where you can't have drops in the end zone. You can't have big penalties. You can't have these make it or break it moments because they got a guy right now in Josh Allen who's playing his mind off and can erase some of his mistakes. Like, he didn't play the perfect game. He had Stephon Diggs pissed the entire game because he wasn't getting the football at all. And, their fans are acting like heathens, throwing snowballs all over the place. I just wanted to mention that again. And even still, he was able to come up with the big runs, the big throws. And I thought, like, everybody had their moments in the game for the Dolphins. Like, defense came up with some big plays, but they also got gashed for some big plays. I thought the offense came up with some big plays, but they left some stuff out on the field. I think there's a lot to dissect from a game like this. There's a lot that you're going to second guess over a game like this. I thought Tua played pretty damn good, but not to the level of Josh Allen. He could have really put the dagger in this game. He could have carried the team on his back, and instead 17 did that for Buffalo. He took his team from the depths after having a critical mistake and probably causing his team the game. He didn't let that rattle him. And I think instead, the Dolphins, they, had this lead and, they're up 8 and you think, oh my God, here it is. You got to put those games away. I think it was Mike McDaniel said the team has to learn it's a 60-minute game. And I think in all frankness, so does he. I think that we've seen some growing pains from Mike McDaniel over the last 3 weeks. And now they're in a spot where, look, it's desperation time. You're 8-6. This is a tight division. It's a tight playoff race. And, you got Green Bay, who's had their struggles this year on Christmas. And then you got 2 divisional games against 2 teams that all Dolphins would look and say, we're definitely better than. But, the records are very, very close. And you need to go prove it on the field. So this one stings. Really wanted to see them beat that team. But just wasn't good enough.